I want to read this because I think it says so much. Because most of you know Bill Cawthorn was a deputy warden, but he was a department head in his own right. But as deputy warden, that made him a cop, okay? So I want to read this real quick. It's called The Forgotten Cops. We are correctional officers, not guards. Guards are the people who watch school crossings. We work at minimum, medium, and maximum security correctional facilities. We are empowered by the federal and state government to enforce its penal laws, rules, and regulations of the prison. In short, we are policemen. Our beat is totally inhabited by convicted felons, who, by definition, are people who tend to break laws, rules, and regulations. We are outnumbered by as many as 105 to 1 at various times of our workday. And contrary to popular belief, we work without a sidearm. In short, our necks are on the line every minute of every day. Although you will never see us on 911 or cops, we are law enforcement professionals. We are the forgotten cops, hidden from public view most of the time. Ours, with Mr. Cawthorn and his officers, were out in the community all the time. That's not part of this, but I want you to know that. Doing a dangerous beat, hoping to someday receive the respect and appreciation from the public whom we silently serve. And the author to this was unknown. But Mr. Cawthorn, it's your day.
Bill.
Billy.
I could call you what Richard calls me when he saw me a while ago, but I won't. But this is a very special day, and introduction of our honoree, William, Bill, Billy, hey you, Cawthorn, Mr. Cawthorn. Now, I tried to get your captains to show you that respect all the time, but they wouldn't. They wouldn't. So, I think most everybody in here knows that Mr. Cawthorn's going to be extremely missed by a lot of us.
Won't miss all y'all.
And I think we need to find out who all's here. The young lady's sitting next to him and holding his hand. Lynn, we appreciate you, and we appreciate all that you have meant to him during his years of service here. But next to Lynn is his beautiful daughter, Morgan. Morgan, I remember before you was even born. I knew your daddy before you were born. But Will, you were a little bitty fella when the first time I ever saw you, and you've grown, both of you grown to be fantastic people, and I appreciate it. I know your daddy's proud of you, and I know he's proud to have you here, Will, because you're stationed a long way away.
Quite a sharp.
Captain Will Cawthorn. I think we need to find out the rest of his family. We need to introduce. I know his dad sitting down here, Bill Cawthorn.
William D.
Senior.
He's
Senior.
He's a junior.
And he's junior. Well, I never didn't call you junior. His mother is here. Tut. Tut. All right.
Stepmother Eleanor, brought his dad.
Okay. And
Stepdad Bill.
Okay. Now, the rest of the family, tell us.
We got Daniel, future son-in-law.
All right, Daniel.
My sister Elizabeth.
Okay.
My brother Eddie, and his wife Keisha.
All right.
Mr. McGuffey?
No, the first one.
Is that your daddy?
Oh, I'm sorry, we're so close.
Is that your other daddy?
I'm just messing with Mr. McGuffey.
This is my
Son-in-law
brother-in-law,
Bob,
Bob Williams,
Katie Williams,
sister-in-law,
sister-in-law.
Go ahead.
You go ahead. You're better at it.
Kate Bo Collins,
Amanda Collins.
Amanda Collins, which is niece Christy Williams, Funny Charlie, Christy's
Funny
better
Charlie.
half, Charlie Lanier, my sister Jan and her husband Tony, and and the back we got my niece Amy, Andrea.
There you go. Raise your hand.
Adam is our videographer. There's my beautiful nieces over there, Emily and Anna, the Chick-fil-A girls.
All right.
Andy, the fireman in Noonan, my nephew.
His boss is here, by the
And
way.
Brady and Carson. And Sean and Kathy, our sisters and brothers from another mother. And our neighbors.
Our next door neighbor.
Did I miss
Where's
anybody?
Debbie and Jimmy?
Oh, Debbie and Jimmy will be here. She's had to teach.
And everybody else in here's my family.
That's right. Nancy Pye, Tank, Jenny. I can name Matt. Y'all are all. Russell.
All of them.
No, a lot of you guys
Look,
met
don't
today.
claim Russell. Give him the big head.
What's it with you and Russell? You already told me you wouldn't claim Russell.
I don't claim Russell.
We have a private society in the morning that sits around the table, and
That's why
that
you don't
stays with
claim
our little
Russell.
private
The
society.
little Debbie eater. Yeah, we could call him Honey Bun. All right. We've introduced the honoree and his family, and then the introduction of guests. There are just so many, but Bob Blackburn back there. Bob is one of our county commissioners, and I haven't seen any of the other commissioners here. Our sheriff. Come on, Mike. All right.
I just got one thing I got, Billy. Can you get somebody over there to cut out our retention pond?
Oh, my.
We did that last week.
Where you been? It was done last week.
Put me on the list.
He always does.
Mr. McGuffey, one of our former commissioners and truly a friend to Bill and I. We appreciate him. Duke Blackburn and Lynn, his wife, they're here, and we can give Duke the credit for hiring this man and bringing him out here, and I can give him credit for hiring me to come out here because Mike Yeager would have probably fired me, when he got elected, so I had to come somewhere where I could stay a while. But
I'll take animal control if you'll come running for me.
no, I like Duke's offer better.
Duke and I worked together in Bass and Cook before.
But before we move into the folks who are actually going to be roasting Bill, is there anyone, any of you guys that want to say a word right quick? Again, I'm just going to say we're going to truly miss having Bill Cawthorn out here. His leadership, his experience, his dedication to any job that he ever took. Theron out there somewhere? Did y'all say he is here or not here? Because normally Theron's going to be late. But he told me he'd be here by 3:30 if I'd hold it off till 3:30. Not out there? Hadn't seen him. All right.
He told me he was coming.
Can't get out of Meriwether County. Traffic's too bad. He's here?
Where's the chair? There's
There is some chairs.
some more chairs.
Cheers.
Emily.
There is some chairs over here. If you, all right, Theron. I know you finally here, so come on up here. Come on up here. You don't have to politic us anymore. You're in Meriwether County.
Well, I've been gone so long, I've been here earlier, but I just lost my way. How y'all doing? Ooh,
Oh, you're up first.
am I first?
You the first.
Okay,
Fire him
that's a
up.
good deal, good deal. We'll go ahead and get it started here. I promise I'm not going to play the piano, okay? I thought I was coming to Bill McKenzie's retirement today. I had to tear the name off the thing here. I had Bill McKenzie instead of Bill Cawthorn. If I'd known it was Bill Cawthorn, I may not have come. So anyway, I wanted to tell you guys, little of my experiences with Bill over the years. Eddie Whitlock always said, don't ride with Bill. He can't drive. Well, I'm here to tell you I got evidence and proof that Bill's actually a stunt driver. He's a stunt driver. One time, we got on I-85 out here at the Quickie store. It's been a long time ago. He had a red truck. He was drinking a Coke. He puts that Coke on the bumper of the truck and drives all the way to North Georgia mountains through downtown Atlanta, and that Coke goes over to this side, over to that side. We get up in, Dahlonega, somewhere in North Georgia, and Bill said, Tate City. Bill said, I wonder where my Coke went, and he done been driving that thing all over Atlanta. So that's why I say he's definitely a stunt driver. But I did take Eddie's advice. I wasn't riding with him. I was watching him from a distance. But there are a lot of other things that you think about when you get old as I am. You think about there's all these moments that says, golly, what was I thinking about when I did that? And here, a year or two ago, I got to thinking about all those moments and what was I thinking about? And one of the things I come up with as a common denominator on all those times, or most of those times, was Bill Cawthorn. What was I thinking about? And Bill Cawthorn was involved in it. Some examples of that. Why don't we try to ride down this slick, muddy road up in the mountains and see if we can't just ski all the way to the bottom in a truck? Bill Cawthorn. Okay. Why do we decide that, hey, we're out in Missouri and it snowed 12 inches. Let's just drive home today. 2 days later, after having traveled to almost Jackson, Mississippi, we finally get home. Almost spent the night in Memphis, Tennessee on the interstate. But when we got the last 2 hotel rooms, we had to go to Burger King and get us a milkshake, of all things. Again, Bill Cawthorn. And I know Will remember this. We decided one day with a snow blizzard, it was a good idea to go out and go duck hunting. And by the time we tried to get back into the truck, we looked like snowmen. All that sticky snow had stuck all over us. My gloves had frozen. I couldn't get them back on my hands because they were like this, where I had laid them down.
I think they were stuck to the four-wheeler.
They were stuck to the four-wheeler too. And anyway, but one of the biggest things, with Bill was that while we were out in Missouri, Bill became a member of the New Madrid Mafia. I want to tell you about the New Madrid Mafia. I got photographic evidence of this. Will was there. He'll remember. We had this guide. He was a good duck caller, but he couldn't do anything else. He couldn't get out of the rain. So we were out hunting on the flooded area of Mississippi, and the water was so cold and the wind was so cold, it was lapping up on top of the duck decoys, and it was freezing, so the ducks wouldn't come in. So this bozo we were with said, hey, I got some tools in the car. Let's go out there in the river and let's get those duck decoys and let's knock all that ice off of them. I said, okay. So the guy comes back with a pair of pliers and a shovel that had the handle broke out of it. These things have been laying in his truck and they're covered with ice too. So here's me and Bill. We're out there getting these decoys. He comes up and we have to knock them off with the ice, off with the pliers. Well, Will and my boys were over there. They were supposed to be shooting ducks. Well, they wasn't shooting ducks. They were laughing at us. And they were taking pictures of us and telling us how we were the New Madrid Mafia. What we were out there doing was whacking those duck decoys. Well, me and Bill finally said, let's go and let's get a stick. And that way we can just go by and whack these things instead of trying to take that pair of pliers and knock this stuff off. And and that's how he become known as a member of the New Madrid Mafia. Now we didn't have a 007 in there, but we did have a number 8, right? In some of our adventures that we went on.
Yeah.
Wasn't his name number 8?
Yes.
So anyway, in all sincerity, we lived through all these things and had a great time, got home safe, and instead of being in reality those minutes of what was I thinking, they go down as adventures and a lot of fun with a great friend of mine. And we're going to hand out things now. Can I hand out something too? Okay. One of the reasons I truly was late today was because I work down in Meriwether County now, and we don't have enough public works folks down there to get things done. So I've been out inspecting culverts and a variety of other things. And Bill, I brought you a little present that you might want to wear on some of your days off once you retire. It says Meriwether County Public Works. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, Darren, don't try to hire him now. The state's got dibs on him now.
Oh, good. You know how the state is. It take them too long to decide.
Here we go.
Don't come back up here anymore. I don't want to see you in this county anymore. Don't you come back up here anymore.
Make sure y'all tell everybody who you are, because my family don't know who y'all are.
I bet they do.
Well,
I'm Eddie Whitlock. I work with Coweta County, and I've had the sincere pleasure of working with Bill for a very long time, and I mean that. When Bill came to work for us, he had a size 26 waist.
28.
He told me 26.
Oh, 28.
I met him, yeah, 28.
Well, you're lying now, and you were lying back then. You know I can't take you lying to me like this. Can I ask you what happened to your
I'm not gonna lie to you.
what happened to your waist in these last 29 years?
Fried chicken livers.
They call it chain gang food.
Thank you.
I had Bill and I tried to do our best to try to improve each other. So I had this desire to stop him from, well, it was a filthy habit that involved a tobacco product. And so through the years I had taken away, I just put my hand out, give it to him. And whether it was half full or half empty, or whether there was a pinch left, or whether there was a whole can left, if I caught it on him, it was mine. I got to looking for it because I kept them all. I was going to bring them back at his retirement, but I couldn't find them, Bill. I think I finally threw them away.
I don't need them.
This is one of the, and thank you for taking away the whole story about the driving and stuff, but Bill's the only guy I know that can steer with his knees while he's talking on the phone, while he's talking on the radio, while he's sipping a cup of coffee or spitting juice out of it into a tobacco cup, and looking at you while he's driving with his knees.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey,
Go out, Mark and the sheriff.
don't
All them.
stop me. I found out a little while ago that this was going to be videoed, and so half of the stuff that I've got to do is by the boards. I can't do that now.
Adam, cut the camera.
So I thought today whether it's nobler in the mind to roast or not to roast, and there's every reason to roast, but I'm going to choose not to. I want to talk about legacy for a moment. When you leave a place better than when you found it, that's legacy. So that's Mr. Cawthorn's legacy, is to this institution, to our roads and bridges, to our parks, to our facilities, to our community. That's legacy. Bill, you have been a tremendous manager, a director of your department. You have organizational skills that are beyond me, and certainly to the point where I've admired the way you've organized your team and the way you've delegated their responsibilities and the way you've supported them. You've taken the responsibility that has been given to you, and you performed admirably, much greater than admirably. You were a planner, you were controlled, and you directed with fairness, with equality, and you hired good people,
Very good people.
and you've managed them well. Well, management's one side of the coin. There's another side of the coin that's important, guys. And it's one thing to be a manager. There's a cliche that says managers do things right and leaders do the right thing. And leadership is a quality that Mr. Cawthorn embodies. The enthusiasm for work, for what he does, and what he's done. And I guess what he's going to do for Meriwether County. Don't come back up here. Sitting in the corner. A leader can't be a leader without integrity. It just can't happen. No one's going to follow anybody that doesn't have integrity. So Bill has demonstrated his integrity over and over again. And you all you guys that have worked with him through the years can attest to that. He has communication skills that are outstanding unless he's got a dip in his mouth.
I hadn't had that for 15 years.
That's the, damn it, you can't lie to me. But he's an excellent communicator. He's an excellent communicator. Decisiveness, makes decisions, takes the responsibility, makes a decision, doesn't punt them to somebody else, doesn't blame him for anything else. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But he does it because he's decisive. There's an old gray-haired fellow that taught me a lot about the word respect. It's a two-way street. It's a continuum. If you give it, then you can demand it. And if you demand it, then you give it. I think Mr. Cawthorn may have learned that from the same guy I did.
Sure did. He didn't like riding with me
No, he warned me about that. And then there's another issue of leadership, and there's some leaders in this room. I look on that back wall back there, and I think about this past weekend and what was done in this community. And there's leaders over here too, and there's leaders all over this room, and I appreciate the leadership. But there's something about leaders that had the it factor. Everybody talks about the it factor. And that allows those that are willing to follow to understand that this guy's got it. And Mr. Cawthorn, you certainly have it. You'll have it down there too. Don't come back in this town. Finally, Bill, well, this is actually for you guys. You left a legacy and it challenges y'all to continue the function of the organization with excellence and pride. And if you want to honor Mr. Cawthorn, Bill Jr., you'll honor him with excellence and pride and continue to do the work you're doing. Continue to follow the structure that's been set. It's not going to change. And continue to provide the excellent service that Bill demanded from you. And I know you'll do it because you will honor him. You've earned your retirement, and you're going to retire. Annual evaluations that I've been fortunate to have had the opportunity to evaluate for a long time. Theirs exceeds expectations. Quite frankly, theirs exceptional. Mr. Cawthorn's exceptional in almost every way that he can be. Enjoy your next journey.
Still managed to not call me for the last month.
Sometimes you have to stop calling because maybe it starts hurting too much.
There you go.
Mr. Carl McKnight.
Ain't no mystery to it. It's all Carl. First of all, to your mom and dad, you raised a great son. He's a good family person. He is the type of people you want your boy to grow up to be, and you couldn't ask for anything any better. I'm telling you that. He's, I was thinking, I've been working with Bill. I've been 26, and he's got 29 or 30. The time that he's gone over and what he's seen in his life working with the county, he's had to put some friends aside that passed away, 13 people. And you don't think about that, what he has to deal with, not only working with people, but the ones that have retired or either deceased later on. And the kind of emotion he goes toward that, he don't wear it on his sleeve, but he knows it in his heart. He's helped me through my family get through a lot of pain and sorrow. He was always there if something happened. He's the kind of person that people don't realize, and I hate social media because I still got a flip phone and it still works, but I can call whoever I want to, but the things about roads when need to be open and public safety and how it's handled and who handles it, and you get the main arteries open first. You don't worry about the secondary till later on, but you got to get the hospitals, the sick and everything. He worries about that. He leaves his family in the mornings at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to get out and do a job that's, we take for granted. A lot of us take for granted. He's got a lot of good help behind him. These gentlemen out here, some of them are a lot younger. They were probably in school riding the buses. Well, no, they didn't ride the bus. They drove their own cars to school. But that's the kind of the thing, when you get to that point, you see the kind of leadership that Bill has. He's been a great friend of mine. The first time I met him, there was an inmate had stole a car from Mr. Welch over here at the school board system. He goes over, they find the car over there. God bless another soul, Tommy Poncello was one of the ones I was talking about. They found the car over there in the lake in Peachtree City. And then my brother had lost a car, and somebody stole his car 2 weeks before that, and he ran up on it, and he called me. He says, "Are you Carl McKnight?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "You got a brother named Jim?" I said, "Yes." He said, "We found his car." I said, "Where is it?" He said, "In the lake." I said, "Well, ain't no good now." He said, "No, it's in still good tag." But that's the first time I met him. And the other two stories I'd like to tell about, I don't want to take everybody's time up, but what I remember about him when I first took the job for the county, he came out there, "Can I help you do this? Can I help you do that?" I have not ever called this gentleman right here and run a recreation department that he didn't call or send somebody to help. And they came and did it and did it at free will. They did it. They kept the county running. There's a lot of things that I say I got 7 or 8 people running the county, but I've got all this whole family that runs the county for me. And it's through Bill Cawthorn and through Bill McKenzie how it works out. And it makes me look real good, but this is where it all starts right back here. But I was coming down Temple Avenue and I had my brown truck, I still drive it. And I was playing with the radio and I thinking like it was a CB because I never seen a radio. I've been on a farm all my life and worked down there. And the radio's on and I hear Miss Nancy Pye say, "Well, I think I just saw him right up Temple Avenue." And back then he was 601. And he said 601 to RD1. And she said, "Well, I just saw him and I saw Bill." And I said, "Am I RD1? He said, "Yeah." He said, "That's how you guys find it." So I'd start on RD1 from then on. The one other time was, we were down back when the commissioners, and I like the old boy system, Mr. McGuffey, when y'all had asphalt left over in the end of the year and you got to disperse it between the other commissioners, they had a place to do it. Well, Mr. Hunter had some left over, and Bill called me up. He says, "Where's the Sonoy Cemetery at?" And I said, "It's go out Pilot Street and it's out toward McIntosh Trail." I said, "Why?" He said, "I just got to take the paving equipment down there." He said, "Meet me down there." I said, "Okay." So I met Bill down there. He said, "We're supposed to pave right through here and right through there, and if it's got enough, we're going to go left and right." He said, "Are we supposed to do that?" I said, "Who told you?" He said, "Mr. Hunter." I said, "Yeah, we're supposed to do it right now. We're going to do it right now." And so that was a good story. But the best one, I think, was when Mr. Hunter had sent his son-in-law up there, Mr. Beatonball, who stand up, Mr. Beatonball. I know you're here somewhere. Hey, here, stand up. Fill out an application. He retired from Roadway and filled out the application and used me as a reference on the bottom of the thing. And he filled over and Bill was going through all the applicants and reading all down through there. And he said, "I got a guy to ask about, it's usually a reference. What do you think about him?" I said, "What's his name?" He said, "Richard Beatonball." I said, "Okay." I said, "He's a good driver. He drove at Roadway and everything." I said, "He ought to have a good driving record." 2 days later, he calls me up and, God dang, Paul, why didn't you tell me that was Mr. Mutt's son-in-law? How did that happen? I said, I figured you'd find out sooner or later, so I'll let you hang yourself. But thank you for everything you do, your family, and I appreciate it.
Carl, love you.
You want these, or?
Yeah, I do. I need it when I get outside and drive.
We'll be here all week if we hold on.
I know. Mr. Blackman? Come on up here.
Blackburn's up. I'll see if I can't haul up there.
Come on.
Legend.
Well, I can't roast him too much, but I can tell you, when I first met him at Batson Cook, he was one hell of an engineer. He was a young man right back then, but he really knew what he was doing on some of those high-rise buildings. He kind of kept the job straight. And I remember when I came down here as Director of Public Works, I went to him and I said, you know, Billy, we've had a crane to fall here on a job. We had a big crane and it just happened to fall right between two buildings. Lightning hit a crane up there. I said, you know, it's not as dangerous. Come on back down here. And I kept trying to talk him into coming down here to work at Public Works. And I think the one thing, he said, well, what about all the crews and all? I said, well, it's the same kind of men that you work on a construction job. You just know where they are on Monday morning. But Bill and I, we got our start together there and came down here, and he has done a fantastic job for this county. I think it's probably one of the best things I ever did to get him to come back down here, and especially for his family to be home and not be Banner Elk and all over the country chasing
Chattanooga,
these jobs.
Florida.
Yep. But but I always remember that I got pretty close to Zell Miller, and I think about this when you think about people and when they come and they do such an excellent job like he did. And right before Zell got out of office, I was over in his office, and I looked, and he had a picture in his office, and it had it was a turtle sitting on top of a fence post. And I said, I called him Boss, and I said, Boss, what's that turtle? What does that mean, that turtle sitting up on top of that fence post? And he called me Boy. He said, boy, that ain't no turtle, that's a terrapin. And he said, that terrapin didn't get up on that fence post by himself. And I always remember that about helping folks and folks like him and people that have helped me over the career. But he really turned out to be probably one of the very best employees. Not only Batson Cook hated me after we stole him from up there, but he's done more for this county and he won't say anything, but more than anybody ever realized. But I really truly appreciate his friendship.
Appreciate it too. I appreciate you getting me out from up there. 70 hours a week to maybe 50.
You was on the road department side, I was over here on the prison. We don't go home that early. Anyway. Matt Lovett, come on up here.
Are you kidding me?
No? Russell, you gonna be next?
Yes, sir.
Kevin?
Matt talked me into it.
You all right?
Here we go.
Hey, Bob.
I'll be brief, really. I really want to echo really what everybody said so far. I mean,
You need this?
yeah, probably.
No, not that.
No.
Group hug.
You really had a tremendous impact on my life.
Y'all had an impact on mine.
And we're gonna miss you. And he really taught me so much about management and when stuff comes up in people's lives. I just can't really describe what you meant to me. I can't. But On to the roast. On to the roast. You ready? Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, I shared, not shared, but I've been adjacent to him for many years, and made it up. As he progressed, I guess not that he got older, but as he progressed,
Thank you, man.
just started coming up with different, what do you call them?
Sayings.
Sayings. I mean, just first it was, when he got like, it was kind of, couldn't really make heads or tails out of it, but you know, we knew something was wrong, and then all of a sudden, you know, we started being able to, you know, figure out what he's saying.
Does he talk Chinese sometimes?
Oh.
Japanese?
So I picked out, and these sayings are ones when I go to bed at night. Sometimes I hear them. I wake up in the middle of the night and I hear them. So I decided to research a couple of them. And this is, I would say this is probably my favorite. I think y'all can probably figure out what it is. I need a little assistance with this one. But this saying, let's see, it was first recorded in 1803 with an uncertain origin, but possibly a euphemism for Holy Mary, with mackerel being a nickname for Catholics because they ate fish on Fridays. So,
What's that? Holy mackerel.
holy mackerel, holy mackerel. So, you might ask, well, you know what? When would he say this? So,
Did you have to roll that up? Did you have to roll this up?
so this might be an example of what he would say holy mackerel about. Holy mackerel! Look at the, let's see here, look at the rear end on that. Man, I love the new dump bodies they've been putting on these trucks.
I am coming back Monday.
You done with that one?
Yeah, I'm done with that one. Man, this is his most recent one. We really,
He uses it a lot.
he really uses this one. He's really gotten a lot of mileage out of this one. So this one, let's see.
Go ahead.
This one,
Sign language.
the origin really is unknown, other than we do know it's used in Southern culture quite often. All right, so this is a polite way of saying bull hockey, bull crap, bull cranky, bull crud, bull oni.
Bull butter.
Bull butter. All right, so we hear this one mostly after a telephone call from one Mr. Whitlock. Bull butter! Bull butter! I can't believe it. Are you kidding me? Bull butter!
Oh, good thing you're leaving.
He'll be sitting in his office and everything's quiet and I'll be sitting there and I'll hear, bull butter. I said, what's the matter, Mom? He goes, nothing. We hear it all the time.
All the time.
That's one of his favorite things.
I should have shut my door more.
We could have gone on a lot more, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We didn't have enough time.
We didn't have enough time. We didn't want to take everybody's time.
Oh,
Great
Yeah.
entertainment.
good job.
I'm going to ask these folks, because I told them they had to say something, but Kevin Rainwater,
I'm good.
Kevin says he's good. He's going to keep it quiet.
He's gonna tell him personally, aren't you, Kevin?
Yes. Keith Edmonds, where's Captain? You got anything you want to say?
Just real quick, just how much I appreciate everything you've taught me. Like the first 6 years I was here, you know, I kind of saw you as you're the principal. I want to stay away from your office. And I'm getting to know you. As you gave me the opportunity, and I got to know Bill Cawthorn, the person. You really have taught me a lot. I really appreciate it. One thing I will say, you got like a sign down, and Bill's telling you where to go, it's gonna be like, you know where the Johnson place is. Go down there to the fence, take a look at it. Oh, that's so-and-so. Bill, I know road names. You gotta help you.
I've rode these roads so many times.
Yeah, it just.
I can remember though when Duke would be the same way. He'd be calling out people's names and go down there past that tree, you know, on such and such. So it came back. It just came back.
I got that, Mr. Hunter. I think he'd say, go down to John Ball Road, get that tree. And I'm like, all right, I get real quick, and I'm trying to find out where John Ball Road was. There
The
wasn't
only
a
other
John
thing
Ball.
I can say, the only other word that comes to mind is sneaky. Sneaky, that man. Hey, if your alarm goes off on your truck while you're at work, he probably got a little something to do. You got a little something on your hand from opening a car door, you probably got a little something to do with it. Nah, Bill, I appreciate everything you
Thank you,
taught
Keith.
me, and it's been a pleasure.
I appreciate every one of you guys. I mean, y'all, I hope y'all stick together, work together as a team.
Steve Bassett, you all right? All right. Well, Ryan,
Oh, boy.
I didn't realize they were kin until just recently. You know,
I just learned that too.
They kept that pretty quiet.
I'd let him adopt me. if
This
need
was
be.
his other son, Will. I don't know if you met your brother.
No, I'll keep it brief as well. I mean, we want to thank you for everything you've done for us and me as well for what you've taught me. And now that you're going to have a lot of time on your hand, we all got together and chipped in and thought maybe y'all might want to go somewhere.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
my
Wherever y'all want to
gosh.
go. So,
Gosh, thank you.
Y'all enjoy it.
Thank everybody.
Thank y'all.
Thank you very much.
Will and Ryan grew up together. Our two boys. What are you laughing at?
I can see that too. We've got a. Oh, by the way, I didn't want to miss this. This was laying in the parking lot. Now, he had his name put on the little bumper out there.
Parking.
And I know, yeah, his parking space, but I know, you know, the guy can sort of squeak when he walks because he's so tight. Because that was what was on the back So, Mr. Cawthorn, I want to make sure you take this with you when you leave, and I'm going to lay it over here.
I ran over it at least 2 or 3 days.
He ran over the stopper out there, you know, what you pull up to many times. That's reading it was off. Mr. Cawthorn, step up here, please. We want to present you with a couple of things.
That's my badge.
Yeah. They like to, me and Lynn had to work really hard to try to get our hands on that, and then Ryan brought it to me. But you can't wear this one anymore. You're just going to have to put it hanging on the wall. It's presented to William D. Bill Cawthorn Jr. for 29 dedicated and devoted years of service, leadership, and friendship as Cayuga County's Road Department Director and as the prison deputy warden, serving since October the 9th, 1989 to April the 30th, 2018. And it says I presented it to you on the 30th day of April 2018, but you know today's the 27th, and it's from Cayuga County. And
Thank you.
this, I think it's a beautiful plaque, and it says an awful lot. And we appreciate the friendship
Thank you.
most. Especially. And I want to present you with this. I hope you can find a place to hang it. There was a lot of talk as to shellacking it and what do they call that, putting hardener on it and all that kind of stuff. And we said, nah, just if he wants to do it, he can do it. But I'm gonna hold it and you can tear the paper off of it.
Kathy, did you make that? My neighbor makes flags and things like this.
Well,
Thank you very much.
actually, this come from a girl up at Floyd County, and
Oh, wow.
she did it, and we just wanted to give you something
Thank you.
to remember us by.
I'll never forget y'all. Thank you very much.
Lynn, before we get any further, do you wish to make any comments?
I don't think I could. I'd probably do the ugly cry. I think everybody knows that they're a family. And I hear more names than I see faces. But thank y'all all for supporting him. And he's a good husband, a good leader, and I've always said I wouldn't want him to be my boss because I know how honest he is and his integrity. But I know he's had a hard time this week walking away. He feels like he's deserting you.
Yeah.
But
You are.
He told all of us he was your boss.
thank y'all all for taking care of him on those snowy nights and being in the back of ambulances, riding out tornadoes, and he always came home to me, and that's what mattered.
I left y'all in the hall with bicycle helmets on a lot of times.
That was my idea.
Morgan, you will.
I can't keep it together, so I'll tell him later.
We're proud of her. So proud. I know they are.
Well, Mr. Cawthorn, it's getting to that point where that we're going to finish this official part, but I got something I got to read to you. This is a notice to pay rent or retire. April the 27th, and it's made out to you, the road department director, and it says to the tenants and all others in possession of the premises located at 101 Selt Road, Newnan, Georgia. Please take notice that pursuant to the lease and or rental agreement dated October the 9th, 1989, under which you hold the possession of their herein described premises, there is now due unpaid and delinquent rent in the total of $1,044,000, representing rent due for the period from October the 9th, 1989 to April the 27th, 2018. Please take further notice that immediately upon the service of this notice, you are hereby required to pay the above listed amount in full or vacate the premises, move out, and deliver up possession of the same to Warden Bill McKenzie. He's at the prison, okay? So this is the eviction. Failure to pay the rent in full or vacate the premises immediately, as required by this notice, will result in forfeiture of the lease and or rental agreement, and will institute a physical removal of you in whatever means possible and at the disposal of the warden. This is intended as a legal notice for the purpose of terminating your tenancy so that you may start your retirement and the full pleasure of deciding what and when you want to work, play, sleep, eat, or anything else that does not require permission from a duly authorized supervisor, except that of your wife and family. And I'm going to serve you with this eviction notice. Well, wait a minute. I got to sign it.
Ryan, you have to set up payment then. Let's start now.
Actually, you're telling me that you don't have the $1,044,000. That's $3,000 a month. That's pretty good. That's pretty cheap rent that, since you've been out here all that time.
All those chicken livers.
Well, I didn't even charge you for those.
Thank you, Warden.
And I'm going to have to get some help because you've always been bigger, taller than me, and in much better shape than me. So I'm gonna have to get some help, and I think they're gonna come in and help me remove them.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Boss, say the word, boss, I'm coming.
Kevin, get him.
Right. Oh, Lord, are they for real? Tactical claws, so they are for real.
Yeah, no,
fellas, they lay one hand on and let's go.
I knew Kevin would get him.
are you gonna go peacefully?
I'm gonna go peacefully.
All right. Squad, you can retire. Thank you very much. Anyone else have a word that they'd like to say?
I have
Well, I knew you would. I knew. Russell, I told you to bound him.
Al, sit down or we'll use your truck. No, I'm gonna say this one thing. One of our lease truck drivers years ago noticed how much he had to do. All the people had to pull up. And he said, if I had Bill Cawthorn's job, I'd be living in the basement of a liquor store.
Okay, all set. Appreciate you, and I'm gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you, Kim.
Mr. Cawthorn, for the past, I think, 15 years, every morning I've been coming in, and whoever calls in sick, or whoever's out for the day, I've always wrote their names down, put them on a decal assignment sheet, and laid it on your desk. Well, about every year, you have a stack on your desk like that. You throw them in the trash. I've been doing that for 15 years. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'm not on the job. I'm going to miss you, boss.
You can go with me.
Thanks, guys.
Official retirement survival hat. And it even got a bottle opener there.
Thank you.
But you're retired. It says, I'm retired. Every day is Saturday. Not me. No way, no more. I hope I didn't. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'd like all you people, y'all have spoke volumes about Billy, and he on his work. It just means so much to see that. But I'm going to give you a little example of his neighbor to us. My name is Sean. This is Kathy. We're their next door neighbors, and we've been there for 27 years. And for 26 of those years, or maybe 27, I've worked midnight shift at Delta Airlines. And I come in every morning, and Billy's leaving every morning. It's like those of you that remember this, the sheepdog and the wolf going to work. They take each other out. He waves, good morning, Sean. I say, thank you, Billy. Good morning to you. And he heads off to work, dedicated each and every time. I can't think of anybody that deserves this any more than him. In other words, it's them being neighbors to us. In 27 years living next door to these people, we probably talked about moving 15 times. And every time we discussed it, we got down to it, and we looked at it, we said, we want a bigger house and more land. And we said, you know what, we can't take Billy and land with us.
I don't know if I can talk right now.
Your time, buddy.
Everybody else is teared up, so it's okay.
First off, I want to thank my family, all my family, especially Lynn and Morgan and Will.
Tell them about the joke. How I told you about Will.
Oh, yeah.
They loosened it up. So.
Anyway, I thank them for their support. I left them at home when it snowed. I never played in the snow with them. Left them in the house when the tornadoes were hitting. And I just appreciate their support. But Lynn called today. She said, I need you to help me do this. I need you to help me do that. I'm up at Morgan's getting ready for Tut and Phil to come. And I'm like, okay. So anyway, I call her back. I said, what are you doing? She said, well, I'm headed home. Oh, there's a hitchhiker down here on Poplar Road. Do you care if I pick him up? And I said, have you lost your mind? And she said, well, it's too late. Here, you talk to him. I'm driving. And I'm like, what? Who is this? It was Will. I didn't
What
know.
did Will say? Can your wife drive me home? And you're like,
I didn't hear that. I was already mad. But we didn't expect Will here. He's in training in San Antonio, Texas right now. And we didn't expect him
That
to
was
be
not
here,
gift
so
to
it
you.
was a great surprise to have him here and stuff. But I'm gonna make it quick. All the retirees out there, I appreciate y'all coming back. I miss you guys. Y'all are great guys to have, and all the guys that are still here. I gotta get a hug from Sammy yet, but I really appreciate everybody coming. It's a great big family. I don't care what department it is. We all work together. I was talking to Mark and Lynn, and just I'll help them in a minute's notice, and they'll help us in a minute's notice. Carl, the warden. It's just been a big family, so I hope y'all can keep that going and help each other. And that's it. Y'all can go home now.